All right, so I'm Sarah. I'm from Parking and Transportation, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about parking and transportation on campus. It's a hot topic, like Bree said. So let's get started here. All right, so there's several ways to get around our campus. There's parking, CAN-bus, city transit, and also a rideshare program. And I'll dive into each one of those. So moving around campus, the best way to move around campus would be to bike or to walk. If you do choose to bring a bike, we have a bicycle registration form that you can fill out. You'll have to know your serial number, make, model, color, all that info. It's free. You just order it on our website and stick it on your bike. So there's CAN-bus. CAN-bus is the best way to get around campus. You can use it obviously in the winter is the best time to use it. And then if you are riding CAN-bus, you can be public, you can be a student, you can be an employee, anyone can ride CAN-bus. It's operated by students at the university. So your bus driver is going to be a student. There's only like 2 employees in CAN-bus that are not students. And then Transit is an app that you're definitely going to want to download. It's the little green squiggly icon down here. And it's a free app. It gives you upcoming departure times, real-time data location for buses, trip planning, closest bus stops. It's just an overall really great tool to use for riding CAN-bus. And also Iowa City and Coralville Transit works with the Transit app as well. The Bionic Bus. The Bionic Bus is another service operated by CAN-bus. The Bionic Bus provides paratransit transportation services for persons with a disability. The service is provided in alignment with the FTA and the ADA regulations. The service operates door-to-door in the Iowa City and Coralville area. Persons with a temporary or a permanent disability can call the Bionic line. Or email Bionic Bus to inquire about certification to use the service. Parking options for students. All right, so there are a couple options for students. We have parking permits and also hourly parking meters around campus. Parking meters can be paid with the mobile app called Passport. This would be the best way to pay your meter since you can use a debit or credit card if you don't want to carry around change. But parking permits are what most of you are here for. They go on sale starting August 1st and can be purchased online at parking.uiowa.edu. So student permits, the way you can get one is based on your criteria. Whether you are an undergraduate student living on campus or a graduate student living off campus. And then I would say that most people living on campus would get the Hawkeye storage lot. So this lot is $189 per semester. It's about 2 miles off of campus. The CAN-bus, the Hawkeye Interdorm route, will take you to and from your dorm to the parking lot. Your permit is actually virtual. So it'll be super, super important when ordering your permit that you're typing in your correct license plate, because your license plate number is your permit. That's how we know that you are allowed to park in the Hawk lot. We used to have stickers, but this upcoming fall semester, it'll be your license plate. So it'll be super easy to order a permit. If you're going to be living in the Mayflower lot, there are 2 parking options, but note though that Mayflower only has about 100-ish parking spots. And there's like, I don't know, 600 people that live in Mayflower. I might be wrong on that statistic, but it's very unlikely that you will get a Mayflower spot. So if you are very interested in Mayflower and you are living in Mayflower, you would qualify for that permit, and it's $279 per semester. It's located right behind Mayflower Hall. There's another lot that's about a little bit less than a mile. It's where the old Park Lawn residence hall is. That lot is no longer being utilized, so we're using that as like a Mayflower storage option, and it's $189 per semester. Again, those can be purchased on our website. And if you plan on bringing like a moped to campus or getting one later in the semester, you can always purchase a moped permit on our website as well. It's $63 per semester. That is a physical sticker. So you'd have to stop into our office to pick that up, or we could mail it to you as well. For students commuting outside of the Iowa City or Coralville city limits, you would have different options, and that would be Finkbine, Hawkeye, and Hancher. I would say most of you are probably going to be living on campus. So if you have questions about those specific lots, let me know. I can answer your questions in the Q&A, but I don't want to dive too deep into that. Yeah. So let's see. Also, you can always go to our website. I put the URL at the bottom, transportation.uiowa.edu/student permits. So this is what our parking portal looks like. You can log in using your Hawk ID starting on August 1st. And again, that's just parking.uiowa.edu. You can come here to update your vehicle information, pay tickets, appeal tickets, report something as lost or stolen. Most of you, your permit is going to be virtual, so you won't have to report really anything that's lost or stolen unless you have like a motorcycle permit and it gets stolen for some reason, but that's kind of rare. Let's see. Yeah, do you have any questions about anything? I think this is kind of wrapping up our little session here. I know there's a couple Q&As in the chat, but we're located at the West Campus Transportation Center, which is just north of Kinnick Stadium, connected to the very end of the hospital skywalk. And our office hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. Send us an email, call us, we're here.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, of course.
A couple things. Yes, we have a couple questions that I'm going to mention to you, if that's okay. I just want to let folks know that I put the two links that Sarah mentioned in the chat. So click on that button. There's the parking website as well as the student permit website. And also we are recording this session, and so we'll have a link to you can view it again later if you'd like. I know Sarah includes a lot of information in a short amount of time, which we love. Yeah. Efficiency. So you'll be able to rewatch this session or have your students join you if they're not here tonight. Okay, so a couple of questions here. Thank you, Reagan, for helping us. Couple questions about bikes. When you mentioned that, people are wondering about wintertime, overnight storage. Is it generally a good idea? Do a lot of students bring bikes? Could you maybe just touch on that a little bit more in detail?
Yeah. So typically, I know we don't have any indoor bike storage. I know that in a couple of our like ramps, there are bike racks within the ramp. So it's covered, but it's not like enclosed, if that makes sense. And I want to say that facilities management doesn't allow bikes indoors. Yeah. I know that like I've had questions like that before, people wanting to bring them into their office or something, and that was like not okay. But around campus, either people take their bike home over winter break and then bring it back in the spring, or they don't have a bike. I mean, I ride my bike to work, but I also don't leave it on campus overnight. So I don't know.
Yeah, fair. Personal preference, I suppose.
Yeah.
A couple questions about the Hawk lot or the storage lot. Has that ever filled up?
Yeah, it has. It's not rare, but it has filled up. This past year obviously did not due to COVID. So I'm interested to see what the numbers will look like this year. But if you get a permit within like the first couple weeks of school, I don't see you having an issue with that. It might just be later if you decide to bring your car to campus. Like say if you bring it back like over winter break or something, we might have storage like capacity issues, but typically we can figure that out because we want to have that option for students living in the dorms if possible. So
I just want to mention there, somebody asked about just are freshmen generally allowed to bring cars, and yes, if you haven't, if your question hasn't been answered yet, absolutely. We, as Sarah started out with, we encourage people to use other ways to get around campus, but there are freshmen every year who want to have their cars, especially to get home on breaks or on the
Mhm.
weekends or get to the grocery store. And so that's where that storage lot is really handy.
Right.
Sarah, is the storage lot monitored and is it safe to leave the vehicles there?
Yeah, so there is a person out there from dusk till dawn that checks the lot, and I would say that the lot is safe. Yes. Yep. There's lots of lighting and stuff out there. Actually, they built a new shelter. The old shelter was a little bit, it's like made of cinder blocks. It was kind of enclosed, which was good in the winter because it blocked a lot. But um, the new one is like glass and it's bright and it's has like little, I think, heater buttons in there too, where like it's like a heat lamp that comes down. So that's nice. So yes, it is lit, it is safe. And if you ever need to get to your car and the CAN bus isn't running, um, you can always call Night Ride and they can take you anywhere on campus. If you're currently on campus, they can take you anywhere, from my understanding. They run from like, I don't know the exact
I
hours,
think
but
it's
like
10 p.m. to 5
to like
a.m.
5 a.m. I was gonna guess that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just lost my question. Oh, I was just going to make a comment to say that I've also heard many students talk about, not many, but a few in my time here who've said that, like, if they need a jump, like if they go out to their car and their car needs to be jumped, or they need some
Yeah.
assistance, that our UI police department, like Sarah said, they're patrolling and they're around doing their routes anyway. That's a part of their route. But I've
Yep.
had a few students tell me, like, it's been really nice to know that they could call and have that support. They'll come help
Yeah.
if they're
So
kind of stuck.
it's not even just like, I think the UI police will do that, but also our parking and transportation guys, like our field services team, they provide jump services as well. We don't do flat tires or anything else. We really only do jump starts. But yeah, if you call like our dispatch team, they're here 24/7 and then they'll send an officer out to you. I mean, sometimes like I know if we're not too busy in the wintertime and you're like snowed in or something out in the storage lot, they'll, if we're not busy, like I said, our guys can come help you get yourself out of the snow bank. Because sometimes when they go through the lots and you're in storage and you haven't moved your car in forever, it tends to pile up. But we try to have procedures in place to make sure it doesn't get too crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Will you just quick repeat, if a student lives off campus, like in Coralville, where are they
Mhm.
able to park?
If you're living off campus in Coralville, you would have the option for a student day permit, which allows you to park in the library lot. You just have to register your car with us. It's a free permit, but it's 75 cents per hour to park there. Or you can have a student night and weekend permit, which is $22.50 per semester. And that permit is basically good to park around campus after 4:30 p.m. until 8:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, and then anytime on the weekend. So for example, like I had one when I was in undergrad here, and I would always study at the library or the IMU, and I would just scan my little access card to go in and out. After 4:30 was free until 8:30 a.m. anytime on Saturday, Sunday.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple questions about mopeds. What are the rules, if any, about using a moped on campus, and do they have specific parking areas?
Yes. So if you go to our website, the transportation.uiowa.edu, and scroll to the very bottom of that, there's a link that says parking map. That will show you our parking map in general, but the little dots on the map show where all the moped lots are located. And each one depends on the size of the lot. Some are only a couple spaces, some are much bigger. But if you have a motorcycle permit, you can park at any of those moped lots across campus. Mhm.
That's good to know. I was going to drop a link to that in the chat for you all. I think I got the map. Okay. Okay, I wondered, we'd had a few questions about Night Ride. Sarah, do you want me to answer that? Reagan, do you want to answer that?
I am not a Night Ride expert, so.
Okay, I'm not either, but I know enough to get us started. So great
Yeah.
questions. So essentially Night Ride sort of picks up where CAN bus leaves off, although there is some overlap. But Sarah mentioned 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And it's essentially a shuttle service that is operated by our University of Iowa Department of Public Safety or police department. Security officers drive those. And so it's not a student driver. Like I know somebody asked if they're student drivers like CAN bus, and they aren't, at least I don't think so. Reagan can correct me if you know.
I don't think so.
The nice thing is that they'll pick you up anywhere on campus and then bring you anywhere else on campus or off campus within their radius. They've got about a 2-mile map, and I can find the link to that and send it in the chat as well before we're done here. So it can be a really great service to have, and I can also find the phone number so you all can put it in send it to your students or put it in your phones. And a plug, we have a session on Monday night, this next Monday, the 14th, with our Department of Public Safety. And I know he'll talk about Night Ride there too. So if you're interested in Night Ride in particular, or the other safety mechanisms on campus, please come to that session, and I can include a link there too. Reagan, you got something for us?
Yes.
Love it.
I think I saw somebody ask a question about if there's a Night Ride app. And while I did not utilize it a ton, I did my first year on campus, which was 2/3 years ago. And at the time it was on the website. So there was like a browser where you could go in, and like Bree said there, it kind of picks up where CAN bus leaves off. So it does have to be within a certain time frame. Like, it's called Night Ride, so it's usually later at night. But I'm not sure if there's an app at this point, but I did utilize it on my phone just using the website. So it's very accessible, just kind of like a time frame that you're able to use it.
Thanks, Reagan. Yes, I am finding the website and phone number next, and I will get those plugged in. Okay. Oh, is there anything you can share about where like parents or families would park when they come to visit on the weekends? And then potentially maybe Sarah, just the Iowa City lots in general. There was a question about that.
Yeah, so if you're coming to visit your student on the weekend, if they're living in like a West Side dorm, I would say the Hansher lot is going to be the closest open surface lot, is what we call it. It's free after 4:30 p.m. on Friday until 7:30 a.m. on Monday. And the lot that's like next to Kinnick Stadium is also that. However, on game days, that is restricted because they sell permits for game day stuff. So Hansher, though, is an option. And so, I mean, you could also go park out in storage if you wanted to. But Hansher would probably be the best option if you're looking for something free. I know like the downtown Iowa City ramps, those are not owned by our office. They're owned by the city of Iowa City. You can park in there. I think it's completely free on Sundays, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then I think it's like $1 per hour that you're parked there. So.
That sounds right. Yes, $1 per hour is what I remember as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a couple questions about CAN bus, and maybe this is for Sarah and maybe Reagan, you've got some thoughts too, but 2 questions in one here. How often do CAN buses come by at stops in general? Is there a rule of thumb? And then how often does CAN bus go to the storage lot?
I think CAN bus, oh geez, did I mute myself? No. I think CAN bus goes like every 15 minutes for the Hawk lot. Maybe it's every 30. I don't know. The schedule sometimes changes, and depending on like during the summer, it's less frequent. So the best thing to do is go download the transit app, or what you could do is hop onto the transportation.uiowa.edu website, and the little tab that says CAN bus, click on that, and it'll give you like our routes and schedules icon, and you just can see the times where the CAN bus goes.
Any other thoughts, Reagan, about CAN bus frequency or your experience, or did you cover it?
My first thought, I kind of agree with Sarah. I do think that it is around 15 minutes, but I'm not sure that might just be for the generic stops. I do think that the one that goes out to the Hawk Lot, which is a Hawkeye Inner Dorm, I think that one might be a little bit more spaced out. So she might be a little bit, she could be correct about the 30 minutes. That might be right as well. But I never had to worry about, missing a bus, or because I knew that one would be coming shortly thereafter. And there are a lot of different routes that kind of overlap the main locations of campus. So I
Yeah.
definitely recommend using the CAN bus. And there you can also track where the bus is at as you're looking at the app, which is really nice. If it's just running a little bit late, you might not have missed it. It could just, be caught in traffic or something like that.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of that, the transit app, it's I think been on campus for a year or two now. I don't know, with COVID, I never remember what year it is. But I think it's been here for 2 years, and it is so much better than the old app Bongo. Because Reagan, you probably know what Bongo was, and Bongo was kind of a hot mess at times. No shame on Bongo, but Transit's really great. And you can literally see where the buses are on your phone. So
Yes, it is pretty fancy. Just to clarify, parking permits, is it you pay per semester and then you have to reapply next semester, or are you requesting one for the whole year?
Yeah. So when you order your permit, you are ordering it for the whole year, the 2021-2022 year, but we bill by semester. So if you are not coming back for the spring semester, make sure to cancel your permit with our office, and there's just like a cancel form online. Normally we would make you return the permit, the physical permit, but we won't have physical permits, except for the one caveat is the motorcycle permit. You would have to return that to cancel. But just notifying our office that you want to cancel your permit is how you do that. Yep. So August 1st you get billed, and then January 1st you get billed.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Reagan's work perfect. Thank you. We're now working on another question. The last one we have is, can you list permit costs in the chat? I might be able to. Is that Sarah? Is it easy for me to pull those, or is it going to be tough for me to try to?
Let me. I feel like.
Or oh yeah, perfect. If you have it on here.
This website down here, that's transportation.uio.edu/student permits. That tells you about each one of our permits. So if you're curious about specific ones, just click on it and it will tell you the cost in there. So storage is $189 per semester, and then Mayflower is $279 per semester. And Mayflower storage, which is where the old Park Lawn lot is $189 per semester. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. We whizzed through that. That was great.
Super.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah. Thanks, Reagan. We've exhausted what we had for questions. So if you've gotten what you need, please feel free to log off, and thanks for joining us. Or if you have other questions, please keep those coming in the Q&A. Or Sarah, if you've gotten any final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. If you can avoid bringing your car to campus, I would suggest doing that. I didn't have my car on campus and I was just fine. But if you live out of state, I totally understand if like you've got a far way to travel and just need somewhere to store it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot from students who talk about thinking they really would need it and then they don't use it as much, or like you said, it's once you're here, there's lots of great ways to get around without having your car. Reagan, any words of wisdom, advice on the parking note?
I will just kind of repeat what you guys said. I was an out-of-state student, and I don't think that I could have done without my car. I just used it a little bit more frequently. I serve in the National Guard, so I did have to kind of move back and forth for things like that and other commitments during the month. But I agree, it was nice to have that option there in the storage lot. It can be a little bit tricky at times in terms of dealing with the weather. I know that I definitely had to use a shovel and things like cat litter and stuff like that to get my car out of the snow there, but it definitely is possible for those of you that do need to bring your car. So don't be
Mhm.
discouraged at all if that's necessary for you.
Yeah, it looks like we have 2 questions in here.
Yeah.
Is there a shuttle bus that has it routes to and from the airport? I know that the student government, there's nothing through our office, but student government started a couple years ago, the airport shuttle. You can find that more on the student government website, I believe. I think it's linked somewhere on our website, but it's probably so embedded. I have no idea where it's at. But if you type in like student government at U Iowa airport shuttle, I'm sure something will pop up.
Yes. I was gonna type the same thing. There are shuttles you could book anytime, on your own or your student. I'm not sure who asked that question. But then, yes, the student government sponsored shuttles happen right before the breaks, which I think has been just such a nice addition and so helpful for students. So they do a lot of publicizing that as we get closer to fall and winter breaks. Great question.
Yeah.
And, oh, good. A question about ride sharing, like to go to Twin Cities is this example, Des Moines, Chicagoland, whatever it might be. Sarah, do you know anything, or Reagan, is there thoughts there?
My first thought is utilizing your class Facebook page. I never really did like ride sharing or anything, but that is one area where I definitely saw a lot of people utilizing that opportunity. There were a lot of people within the Chicago area. I'm not super sure about the Twin Cities specifically, but I think it's just, there's nothing university sponsored in that realm, but there's definitely opportunity for students to kind of create that benefit together. And again, that's just kind of making posts on your class Facebook page and saying, hey, I'm going to be going to the Twin Cities during this time. Would anybody like to come with? And, you can kind of share gas and stuff like that. So I think the only resource I can really think of for that is the Facebook page, but I could be wrong.
There is like a UI rideshare network. You can find that on our website as well. I'm not a guru on that, but I know that it does exist. I think it's basically like asks the dates where you need a ride share, and then it connects you with someone that is able to give you a ride, kind of thing. So
that's nice. I didn't even know that existed. I learned something new. I've always thought about the Facebook page as well, and I see those posts a lot about student to student.
I feel like that's a good place for it, because then also you're connecting with people within your own class. Whereas like this UI network, rideshare network, I think it's like employees and students are all together.
It could be. My cat wanted to say hello to everyone. And the last question that we've got, at least for now, which is a good confirmation here, is in the storage lot. Do you have a permanent space or a reserved space, I think is what they're asking, or do you just pull in and get whatever is available at the time you arrive?
Yeah, so the spaces aren't numbered, if that's kind of what you're asking. So you would just get whatever space is available within the storage lot. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Great clarifications. Thanks everyone for these awesome questions. Okay.
All right.
Again, I think we're wrapping up. So we'll hang around for about another 30 seconds. Send us your questions if you have them. And if not, thanks again for joining us and have a great rest of your night. Oh, good. We got a thank you. This was informative. Glad to hear it. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. Thanks, Reagan. She knows all about parking.